Hello, welcome to I'm Thinking with me, Naomi Garcia. I wanted to watch Ned Fulmer and Ariel talk it out again. If you haven't seen my last video on Ned Fulmer, please do. I want to rewatch and re-see and re-feel everything that I felt back then because like that entire podcast interview, if you could even call it that, was diabolical. It was diabolical, and I hated every second of it. But we're gonna watch it. So, if I do remember correctly, Ned actually did this weird like intro where he talked, just talked. Let's see if I'm I'm 2 times speed because I cannot stomach hearing this man. That's a lie. I mean, yeah, I can stomach, but he pisses me off, so let's begin.
Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer. 3 years ago, I cheated on my wife with my producer. It became a massive public scandal that caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. I know that I represented myself as a kind of wife guy who talked about his relationship and put that out there for
Kind of wife guy. Bro, you were the wife guy. Everybody, I don't know if you remember, but Leafy is here did make fun of them way back then. Like that's so long ago. But Leafy is here made fun of him and specifically the Try Guys. They embrace their femininity and were comfortable in their own bodies. And I guess that man was not comfortable in his. Anyway, and he made that particular correlation between Ned and the fact that he cared and loved about his wife to be like a negative thing. And that really just it's ingrained in my head. I cannot seem to forget about it. But this man was known to be the wife guy. Like he was the one that loved his wife, cared about his wife, and was literally having children way before any of the other guys were. Like he was the first one to get married.
for public consumption. And you, as a viewer, I know that I broke your trust. Um, I betrayed my spouse, coworkers, friends, family, and I betrayed you. And I know it's not just about cheating. But I was a company owner and having a relationship with a producer. I was engaged and friends with all of our friends and coworkers. It was understandably a messy and devastating situation for everyone involved. And I was the cause of it.
Painful at times because this man did not say shit. He didn't say shit during the entire video. He said, "Oh man, that sucks." Literally, that was the entire energy that he was giving. But it was necessary for her. I'm gonna beat this motherfucker up. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? It was necessary for her. Man.
To move forward, and I'm grateful for the chance to witness it.
Witness what?
As disappointed
Witness what? You broke her heart.
I get why people were so outraged, and I understand that is the reason that she can't move forward with any sort of public thing without addressing this. So this is a conversation where we answer your questions. We share what we've been up to these last 3 years and what you can expect from us moving forward. It's without narrow long.
Why does he look so damn scared?
I just sort of hid away from it,
Same.
And going completely dark was the only thing that I could think to do. And for the last 3 years, I've just hidden behind the scandal, and now I can't get out from behind it.
Yeah, because it's a big step to sit down and do what we're doing and to talk about it.
Right, but even going out in public with like my kids or just going.
It feels like he's like walking in circles with whatever the hell he's saying, and he did mention that like they did this in a therapy setting, and I'm wondering if he held back as much as he's doing right now, in those sessions to like avoid being or actually being held accountable. No, that's just a me thing. I'm making that correlation based on my life.
to dinner or something like that,
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing that people see is the scandal.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a big loss.
it's a big loss, but it's a really strange way to go about your normal life.
Mhm.
You know, like I am a human
Mhm.
who has needs. Like I want to have regular friends, and I don't want to like walk up to somebody that I want to be friends with at like preschool and have to start every conversation with like, my personal life is a dumpster fire, as I'm sure you know. But also, do you want to be friends with me? You know, like I'm not gonna lie, I have some really authentic friendships that have started that way. But like I don't want to go about my life starting friendships like that.
Yeah, you kind of want the new friends to know the context of like who you currently are. As a
Yes,
person.
exactly, exactly.
I remember I've met some people, like made new friends or kind of introduced myself to strangers. It's like, oh, let's like exchange Instagrams. I'm like, well,
Right?
here's mine, but a couple of caveats. One, I have a lot more followers than you might expect. Two, all of this is pretty outdated. And three, don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
Google me.
You
Just
probably don't want
get
to
to know
Google
me
me.
first. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You don't want to be just sort of seen as the sum of your
But it's a little bit different on your behalf because you're the one that cheated on your wife and got. Well, I do believe that he got fired. He was let go from the Try Guys, or he quit. I don't know, one of the two. But like, if we're gonna be pointing fingers,
mistakes for me and or the sum of your past for you.
Right.
And the challenging thing is it's been complicated for a while. I mean, we are still friends. We have children together. We go on trips together.
Right.
Like, there's a spectrum of being together, not together.
Right.
Like there's ways in which we're together, but it's like the way that everyone wants to know, like, are you guys still like an item? Are you guys still a couple?
I do remember that before this, there were like speculations that they were still together because of well, this was posted 7 months ago. Oh my god, it hasn't even been a year yet. What the hell, bro? That's crazy. But yeah, there were still speculations of them being together because they hadn't addressed it publicly, and everybody was like, well, me included, was waiting on having some sort of retelling from Ariel's side, and it was messy. I won't lie. Everybody was like, "Hey, if you stay with your husband, like that's okay," but they didn't. Oh my god, you can see what the hell I'm looking. I'm searching for something. um, it was wonderful. When I was doing my quote unquote research for getting like screenshots of everything that had happened, I stumbled upon this wonderful, wonderful little piece of history. Oh, it's beautiful because back in 2022, the internet was going wild. I was going wild. Everything was happening at such a fast pace. And literally everything was like everywhere. And this account has screenshots of almost everything that I was talking about. They posted updates on Will Thayer, who was the ex of Alex Herring, who's the girl that Ned Fulmer cheated on his wife with. We look at this. As of 2023, it looks like Ned and Ariel are back together according to the TikTok submitted. Question mark? Interesting. But where is it? Oh yeah, this wonderful of them two, of Ned and Alex sitting together and having lunch. Uh, which is crazy. Again, this is all just like a bunch of it's just a recollection of everything that was going on back then. It was wild. Like this part where Ariel deleted wife from her bio. Yeah, look at this. Did like none of this should matter to me. Again, I have all of these pictures as well in my other video, and this was like the creme of the creme for me, which when the Try Guys announced that Ned Fulmer was no longer working for them back in September. And they also recounted when the other members of the team also were like actively unfollowing Ned and tweeting tweets that correlated to the cheating scandal. Well, which it says here, Keith apparently just liked this tweet about Ariel and everyone else involved. The tweet says, "What a shame. I hope Ariel and everyone else is doing as best as they can." This was posted back in September 27 of 2022. And then Ned and Ariel also posted their statements regarding the allegations back in the day. It wasn't an allegation, so Ariel posted, "Thanks to everyone who has reached out to me. It means a lot. Nothing is more important to me and Ned than our family. And all we request right now is that you respect our privacy for the sake of our kids." While Ned Fulmer posted, "Family should always have been my priority." Wow. "But I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship. I'm sorry for any pain that my actions may have caused to the guys and the fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and my children, and that's where I am going to focus my attention." And you see, the part that really messes me up is that this man really thought that everything was going to be all right, but just because his wife forgave him, um, that everything was going to be all right, and that he wasn't going to lose his job, and that the fans were going to like completely forget and like look the other way and pretend that none of this mattered. And that pissed me off. Because there has to be consequences to your actions. And a lot of the times, so many people don't see them when they go ahead and do some fuck shit like this. Because it's so, in a way, it's so normalized. And I'll talk about it a lot more when I talk about, as a society, we have to really just look at this and like analyze why a lot of these men feel comfortable with going ahead and stepping out of their relationships with their wives or their long-term partners and thinking that they are going to be all right, that like nobody's going to be mad at them and they're going to like be able to do everything that they've always been able to. And there has been a time in where men have been able to actually do everything that I just said and still be all right in their careers. And it makes me a lot more mad that all of a sudden that hate and that more like an anger that they weren't able to get their own way kind of like gets transmuted into, well, in this case, into the fandom, or at least the people online, um, the netizens, if you will, because there is so much to this. Like, I owe nothing to you, bro. Like, I don't owe you that loyalty that you think I do. Um, you may have been fun to watch back when I was like 9, but just because I like your content back then doesn't mean that I'm going to continue to support you if I know that you're not loyal and that you're not able to, be a man of your word and actually be willing to partake in a relationship that you've said you were going to devote all your time and energy into. But that's just me. Let's continue watching.
No, we really haven't been at all this last 3 years.
No, we haven't.
There's moments when we kind of tried, but just because you go to a Taylor Swift concert together doesn't mean that you're, that's always forgiven.
No, like people ask me, like, do you forgive Ned for what he did? And I mean, the answer is no, absolutely not. How can you forgive somebody for lying to you, for cheating on you.
Lock
Fuck no.
it. Look at him.
I don't even. It's I. You know, I. Sorry, I saw red for a minute. It's like no. The answer is no. But also, I feel like forgiveness isn't the goal at this point. You know, we've been together for a long time, and you are the father of my two beautiful children, and we know each other really well, and I you know, we worked through a lot of stuff, and the fact that I can be around you and still like have a good time and like enjoy spending time with you and enjoy spending time with my kids, like I think that's a win.
Okay, girl, that was not a compliment to him, but he's taking it as one, so whatever.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of hard work to do that.
Yeah,
and it's kind of as we've adjusted, we've recalibrated our relationship more towards a platonic friendship, and then it's just been challenging. But like I think we're getting to a point of sort of celebrating that and really like embracing it and accepting it for what it is, as we are like grieving the past. And it's hard to hear you saying like "fuck no, I don't forgive you." Like, of course I get it. I mean, I can.
It's hard hearing, babe.
What? You're still very angry.
Yeah, of course I'm angry.
Do you really expect her to like actually give you forgiveness and be like, yeah, no, everything's forgiven? Because I understand what she's saying. Back in my conflict resolution class, we literally just talked about forgiveness like last week, and one thing that I do remember is that they were saying how forgiveness, you can't forgive and forget, because if you forget, then you start falling under the same patterns, and then you never learn from the actions that hurt you and what you did to somebody else. And yeah, I do get her. I do understand. And honestly, nobody really owes you an apology as well, which is kind of messed up. But
we're talking about like not having sat in this position for 3 years, and like, yeah, of course I'm still angry. We lost a lot there.
Yeah,
there's a lot that happened 3 years ago.
Yeah. That damn book, bro.
I mean, I found out about your affair from the fans. I mean, I was so blindsided that somebody sent me a picture, and I couldn't. It's like my brain.
So remember when we listened to Ned's previous or like most recent interview with the Honeydew podcast? He talked about how he was the one that actually told that he was having the affair, and like went out and like confronted her about it. Yeah. She went out and found out through the internet, just like everybody else did.
Couldn't compute. And I it's like for some reason I didn't see what was actually there in the picture. I thought it was your sister. And I remember sending it to you and being like, what's your sister doing in New York?
Dear.
I think back on that and I think like, what was I like, how did I not see what was going on? Like what was so fucked up in my brain that I couldn't actually see what was happening in this picture? Like the picture was right there in front of me. Mm-hmm. And then the pieces just started falling and falling and falling, and like and then more pictures started coming in, and more pictures and more pictures and more pictures. And it is so wild how we live in this world where everything is so public. Like you don't realize it, but
why are you agreeing? What the hell?
And it's kind of scary actually. And it makes you realize that whenever you leave your house.
No, because I'm actually mad. Why is this man fucking nodding his head like he's not the one that literally went out and cheated on her? Like, man's lied to his wife. Well, I don't know if he did lie about the business meetings, but he did lie about who he was with, if you know what I mean. Like, you went out of your way to, like, go to these business meetings and then shag your, not even your coworker, your employee. Bruh.
You're not safe. And it kind of like, and then after everything happened, I sort of went into this weird state where like nothing was safe, and nothing and nobody, like I couldn't trust anybody. I couldn't trust the public. I couldn't trust you. I couldn't trust my friends. I I just stayed inside, like because there were cameras everywhere. It was like, it was so unsafe. Everything was unsafe. It took a long time to like get back to
She was literally stuck in her house with her kids while being bombarded by paparazzi. And this man was God knows where. Again, man, you cheated on your wife while she was dealing with fucking toddlers back home. Lied to. Deceived.
And then add to it this other part where you're sort of being watched by cameras, which isn't something that's like a part of our lives. Like, yes, we are somewhat public figures, but like we've never had cameras waiting outside of our house. Like that's not something that we're used to. Like we're not like celebrities. That's not that's not a part of our lives. And this was a period in our lives where we had like there was like a car following us, and it was really strange because we had,
oh my God,
because we
that is terrifying. What the hell?
Just, found out that we were dealing with this with this cheating situation, with this betrayal. We decided to find a new couples therapist, right? And so we were driving to our new couples therapist, and so we were in the car together because we decided to drive together, and you decided you needed a snack, so you had a Tupperware with you, and I had my jug of water, and we got in the car together because we were like, well, why don't we drive together? We're going to the same place. And so we get in the car and we were driving there, and so you're like eating your apple as you're driving, and I turned to you and I was like, Ned, I think there's a car following us. Like I'm pretty sure this car has followed us from our house. And you're like, oh, that's weird. Like I wonder what that could be, and then when we park outside of the couples therapist's office, and we see that this car has a camera, it was like, I think that person just took a picture of us. And so we went inside and we talked about it a little bit, and we had our therapy session, and then we came out, and then there were multiple people outside, and it was probably one of the strangest situations that I personally have ever been in. I did not know what to do with my face. And so my reaction when I don't know what to do with my face is I smile.
Yeah.
That is my go-to reaction when I don't know what to do.
Look at the reaction. Why does he look so goddamn scared? Like, what the hell? You're the one that did this. You're the reason why you're both in this situation. You're the reason why you were literally being stalked by randos. Man, what the hell?
With my face, I just smile like an idiot.
That was my reaction too.
I smile like like a cat. I just
so
smile.
uncomfortable.
This is the video that everyone saw, and
like leaving couples therapy.
We're leaving couples therapy, looking at each other like we don't have a care in the world, and it's because we are absolutely just beyond like this is so bizarre. What is happening right now? This has never happened in our lives ever. We don't know what's going on. Like, let's just get to our car. And we're just smile, like they're not gonna hurt us. Who are these people? Everything's fine. Oh my goodness, yeah. That was the strangest situation. It was so bizarre.
I remember our neighbors during that time were doing some roof repair work, and so there was this unmarked white van outside of our house, and it was parked there for like weeks, and we had it in our heads there was a paparazzi van, and
it absolutely was not. But it was like the strangest thing. I thought.
Just for weeks, anytime you walk out the door, being like, "There's the van."
Yeah.
Oh, that's so scary. What the hell?
Unsafe and mistrusting of the whole world.
I hate that he's using therapy speak. You're not her therapist. You're her ex-husband that cheated on her. Instead of fucking apologizing, you're like, damn, I'm sorry that happened to you. Bro, what the hell? Play.
Just want to acknowledge that and note that it's like because of things I did that caused you to experience that.
Yeah.
So apologize.
What was that moment
The
like
fuck?
when everything changed for you?
Awful, obviously. It was kind of surreal. I thought to myself, like, what would somebody who's been cheated on, like, what would somebody in a movie do?
Really?
I wasn't thinking like of a specific movie or something like that. I was thinking like, what do people do in this situation? I wasn't thinking I wasn't thinking for myself. I was thinking like what do I do next? I remember we were in New York, and you were just picking me up from the airport. And I was so like naively, so you were driving a rental, and I just naively looked over to you in the driver's seat, and I was like, why was Grace in New York? Like, I didn't realize Grace was in New York. Why was she, referring to that picture that I sent to you? And you looked over at me with this look on your face, and And it was like the veil just fell like this, like I knew.
So back then in the Honeydew podcast, Ned Fulmer said that they were in a car when they actually acknowledged that he was cheating on her. This is that part.
In my brain that something was going on, but I just sort of refused to believe it. And then when I saw that like just wildly guilty look on your face, like you wanted to tell me something, and I didn't even let you say anything. I was like, turn this car around. You don't remember that?
He didn't say shit. Never did he upfront tell this lady that he was cheating on her. He did not apologize. He did not confess. This man looked like a dumbass, like a fucking deer in headlights. And that's when Ariel clocked it. So this is why I do not trust whatever that man says, because it was definitely not the full truth.
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
How do you remember it happening?
Oh, I mean, you asked me a couple of different follow-up questions as I just sort of answered them. And then, once I, answered it in such a way that you knew exactly.
Put your ass on the spot, brother.
Who it was and what had happened. Yeah, then you were like taking me back to the airport.
Yeah.
That part was very cinematic. If you were trying to be like in a movie.
Turn this fucking car around.
I mean, yeah, I think there was a lot of sort of delusions and rationalizations that you, as the person doing that, sort of are telling yourself as to why.
Talking in therapy speak. Why? Delusions, derealizations, brother, what? She was literally protecting her own reality because she didn't want to lose any sense of control that she didn't have. You were out there doing fuck knows what with who knows who, and she was at home taking care and holding it down for you. Like, are you stupid? What?
Why it's not so bad, or why it's going to be okay, or why actually this talked about it this way. And then it's like, I remember that moment, it all just kind of like fell down where I totally could see how devastated and just completely traumatized you were.
Yeah, her entire life just came crashing down.
It was just like, oh, everything changed for me as well. I'm like, oh no, this is like I've been hurting this person that I love.
Bitch.
The time.
You didn't realize until then.
Well, but then there's other things you tell yourself to kind of sort of.
You really said that shit to her face. You really said that shit to her face.
Interesting.
It's sort of it's like a addictive cycle kind of feeling.
But girl, this is not an addiction. It's you being a fuckwad. What the hell?
Guilty and ashamed, and then telling yourself the ways in which it's, kind of just lying to yourself, and then, yeah. And I did want to tell you, and there was probably a small part of me that was sort of relieved to not be keeping a secret, I guess. Is that hard for you to hear?
Just know that this girl wants to punch him in the fucking face, just like, because honestly, same. She's holding back so much. She's holding back so much. Like, girl, me too. Me too.
No, that part's not hard for me to hear. I think it's, I've done a lot. I've spoken a lot with other betrayed partners over the last 3 years, and it's something that I've heard a lot. This idea of like when there's this sense of relief when the partner who's doing the betraying is able to finally tell the betrayed partner that about all the things that they have been doing, and kind of put their shame onto the other partner. They, in that like sort of release of their like of all of that like
shame
and guilt that they've been holding. It's almost like they feel so much relief, but the partner then has to accept it, and that's exactly what happened. When you told me suddenly then I had to take all of that guilt and shame of your affair.
Oh,
And it was so much to carry. So much. Like, and I know that like, and suddenly something that like you had, and like the wild thing is that this was something that you had done.
Mhm.
Like I had no part in this. This was not like, you could even say that you had done this to me, like
Yeah.
I was the victim of this situation. And yet when you told me, I had to like accept your guilt and your shame. And in our like society where couples are, especially married couples, like when men have affairs, women are often looked at as like, well, what did you do wrong? And it is
that exact part. I knew she was gonna hit that. I love Ariel. She's so smart. I also don't want to watch the entire thing because the entire thing is so good. I could just watch and sit here and like listen to her literally tell him to fuck off and to grow a pair. Um, but whatever. You know what? Let's continue watching for a little bit, and then I'll just like wrap it up per like a hot minute.
it's so hard to get out from under that
Mm.
of like, well, what did you do to make him look elsewhere? Were you not a good enough wife? Were you not, did you not make him happy enough? And there's so much shame there. And I'm so tired of holding that. I'm so tired of holding it. How does it make you feel to hear that? I mean, did it ever occur to you that like not only did you having an affair just it shattered our marriage, but it also like all of that guilt and shame, you like hoisted that on me. Like you gave that to me. Now I have to carry that around for the rest of my life.
I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position. It's certainly not true. And no, it's not something that I imagined as I was doing that. I think none of it was. If you really like let it sink in just how much you're hurting your partner and how devastating it is, like how could you do that? It's still very difficult now, even 3 years later, to see you in pain as you're talking about that. I guess there's nothing I can do to change the past or to help.
It's kind of weird to think about it now because I feel like I'm in a really good place now, and going back to like before I discovered the affair, it feels like going back to this weird fantasy world where like I don't know, I thought we had this love that like transcended, I don't know, but it was a fantasy. It was like, I trusted you so completely, and I mean, we grew up together. We got married when we were like in our early 20s.
Yeah,
we were babies. We had nothing. I mean, we moved out to LA with just our car full of stuff. I mean, I'm like tearing up just thinking about it. We were just kids, and it's like it really was a fantasy. And I just think, how could you do that to me? Like, who are you?
Ned Fulmer is a big ass liar. He cheated on his wife, destroyed the entire reality of his ex-wife, and he still cannot say, I'm sorry. It's so troubling seeing how a lot of these cheating scandals just get so scandalized and dramatized, and like we're talking about it here, we're talking about it there, but it's a real conversation that we have to be able to address societally. What do I want from my partner? Do I care about my partner? Do I want to continue to stay with my partner? Like, all of these questions are things that people should be answering within themselves. But instead they want to live out some weird ass fantasy and like seek thrill by having an affair and by potentially ruining the lives of not only themselves, but of their coworkers, of their partners, of their children. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so hurtful. And I genuinely do not understand why this man does not want to own up to any of his whatever and actually say, yeah, I fucked up. And just leave. Just leave the internet. Because you continuing to like bring up and or like having your entire past being dredged up all over again literally reopens the casket to all the pain and the embarrassment that the people that you hurt felt during that time and will continue to feel until the end of time. And that's the messed up part. I don't know. Polygamy is one thing. Cheating is a whole different other. I do want to make that clear. You can want to be in a polygamous relationship, meaning that you want to be in a relationship with more than one person, like romantically, and, do that good, correctly by having an open line of conversation, of communication with everybody involved. But, to go out behind the back of your partner and do all that and literally like make their life a living hell. Never in your life did you think, oh yeah, I'm a public figure. I'm actually put the life of my children, of my at that time wife, in danger. Anyway, I will see y'all next time. This was just a little bonus video. Please like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to comment. Be nice though. Don't be rude. Okay, I'll see you next time.